So welcome back, Fionnuala. And
Thanks, Ash.
we are going to talk about adaptive response.
Yeah.
When you are really dealing with high-level challenges or setbacks, what can you do?
Yeah.
And it really is a game changer. So here I talk about having an adaptive response.
Yeah.
So I have a personal story to share if you don't mind.
I'd love to hear that.
So around 2013-14, I was going through some very high level of challenges related to workplace. And one of my friends, who was a psychiatrist, he suggested me to read the book Man's Search for Meaning. So Man's Search for Meaning is written by Viktor Frankl around the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Really a very empowering book. And what Viktor Frankl talks about is how he was when he was in the concentration camp, where unfortunately he had lost his wife and his entire family. So he started observing people who could deal even with the most challenging situations. So he said that between the stimulus and the response, there is a space. And in that space, if you can choose the response, that makes all the difference.
Yeah.
And that is the last of human freedoms,
Yeah.
which nobody can take away from you. So for example, somebody can be nasty to you, somebody can be angry with you, somebody can be abusive to you.
Yeah.
But inside you, whether you feel offended,
Yeah.
whether you feel humiliated, whether you feel unhappy, that response you still might choose. And what Viktor Frankl said, that people who were able to exert that choice,
Yeah.
not everybody can do that, but people who were able to do that, those are the people who could survive.
Okay.
So they gave the meaning to a particular event.
Yeah.
They became a master of that meaning, and they could deal
Yeah.
even in the most challenging of the crisis.
Yeah. Yeah. So if your good fortune is that physically you're still there, you're still alive, what can you then do? How can you have agency in the most awful circumstances in this case?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in the adaptive response, as you can see in the illustration, that there is there's a frog on a frog on a crocodile, and rather than generating a fear response,
Yeah.
he's shifted that perception now as if and it's not that he is in a fantasy.
Yeah.
He's shifting the perception purposefully so that he gets time, and he's reframing it.
Yeah.
And that reframing is changing to succumbing to a high level of stress or a perceived stress and going into the fear response,
Yeah.
and now able to take the stock of the situation and to be able to reframe it in a different way.
Yeah.
And that really helps remarkably with resilience.
Yeah. So this frog, the character in the picture, perhaps had some hard choices to make.
Yep.
Using the crocodile as a raft.
Crocodile as a
maybe
raft.
Not the choice that frog would have wanted to make.
Yep.
But it's the choice that's there. It's the best chance for survival.
Best chance for survival.
Yeah. And in that frog's psyche, the choice that they're making is to envisage a better situation.
And
a
getting
place
on the
where they
other
can
side.
Getting to the other side, having something that's positive, that generates some more positive emotions,
Yes.
taking you away from some of the fear
Yep.
and into a different mindset.
Because many times people might be in situations or circumstances that they might feel very trapped.
Yeah.
And they might not be able to immediately change the situations.
Yeah.
But what they can change is between the 2 ears
Yeah.
inside their head,
Yeah.
what they are thinking.
Yeah.
And that creates a lot of shift in our environment.
Yeah.
And then that's what they create.
Yeah. So they know the truth. This frog here isn't delusional. The frog knows that it's on the back of a crocodile or an
Yeah.
alligator. But within themselves, they're generating more positive emotions. They've accepted the reality of the situation, but now it's about how can I accept the fear but move beyond it.
They're also reframing.
Yeah.
They're also reframing. And the other thing Viktor Frankl talks about is logotherapy,
Yeah.
which is seeing something in the future
Yeah.
that you can latch onto, some higher purpose, some higher connection, some goal to reach,
Yeah.
which gives you a strong purpose. So rather than in that particular moment when you are getting into a fear
Yeah.
response, you reframe that response into a different way.
Yeah.
For example, like I see on a day-to-day many patients who sometimes have terminal illnesses, and they might take time to come to terms with the diagnosis.
Yeah.
But many of patients I've seen, especially the remarkable, resilient patients and the survivors, is they start seeing things in a different way.
Yeah.
They start finding meaning in a different way.
Yeah.
And as they go through their journey, sometimes they have a illness which cannot be cured,
Yeah.
but still they can bring a lot of healing to their situations, if you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
Fionnuala.
Yeah. So they improve their experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have this hard knowledge that they've had to try somehow to accept, but then with reframing, with looking at how else could I see this, they can find some of the meaning that improves the quality of life, improves how we're experiencing what's happening to us. And that's adaptation. That's our adaptive response.
That's adaptation.
Yeah.
And that adaptation is very important
Yeah.
in when we talk about the environmental management,
Yeah.
because there will be crisis, there will be change.
Yeah.
Simple thing is like you and me have spent a lot of time in Ireland and Scotland.
Yeah.
We know the weather.
Yes.
Weather is also changing all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Similarly, life can throw curveballs. Life is also changing. But how we continuously keep adapting makes a lot of difference.
I hear you. It's our own personal evolution that matters. That's what counts. And how we can keep bringing that.
How we can keep bringing that
Yeah.
and keep growing from that.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're also back to the growth mindset. So it is all so interconnected, the
Yeah.
skills that you're presenting here in the book.
Having an adaptive response
Yeah.
really helps you to have a growth mindset.
Yeah.
Having an adaptive response also means that you are aware of how you felt in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah.
It links into self-awareness and self-reflection.
Yeah.
And then you take a stock by, okay, this is what I'm feeling just now.
Yeah. Yeah.
How can I sit back and see how I can shift my response to a more meaningful response?
Yeah.
And that is what, especially in this particular chapter, what is the journey
Yeah.
of having that adaptive response, how to develop that skill when we are faced with change, when we are faced with situations we land ourselves which we didn't want.
Yeah.
But now it has been kind of forced upon us.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do we shift that mindset? How do we have that adaptive response is the game changer
Yeah.
in terms of having a more higher level response
Yeah.
as compared to going into the amygdala hijack and having the acute stress response or chronic stress in this situation.
Yeah. And we can use things like emotional and social intelligence as levers.
Yeah.
We don't have to be on our own. We can find help. We can find support.
Yeah, very, very important.
Yeah.
To have also that knowing and understanding that we don't have to do this on our own.
Yeah.
And there are many other situations, many other people in these kind of situations.
Yeah.
And being open to find the right kind of support
Yeah.
along with this helps us to develop a resilience. And as I told you in the beginning, all these skills, whether it is emotional intelligence, social intelligence,
Yeah.
adaptive response, they are all interlinked.
Yeah.
Part of the
So
bigger
much.
ecosystem, but helping us like a rope. You see, if there is a thick rope, how many strings come, but they're more intertwined with each other. They create a strong rope,
Yeah.
which cannot be broken.
Yeah.
But if there is a single piece of string, it's easy to break
Yeah.
if there is a tension placed on that.
Yeah.
But if there's a thick rope with a lot of strings intertwined,
Yeah.
it's much, much more difficult
Yeah.
and much harder and much more resilient.
Yeah. So we're pulling every strand together. We're avoiding that binary thinking. We're avoiding looking at things as good or bad. We're looking for sort of diverse kind of thinking, aren't we?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your insights, Punela. That was really inspiring discussion.
Yes.
And certainly something has very deeply affected my life and inspired me with the work. And it is something which, even in the most challenging situation,
Yeah.
can give us hope and meaning.
Absolutely. And I know, Ash, if you don't mind me saying, from knowing you for 7 years professionally, that you've lived this and you know what you're talking about.
Yes. Well, thank you. The proof is in the pudding.
Absolutely.
I'm sitting in front of you.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
alive. I'm kicking. I'm thriving.
Yeah,
And
you've just written 2 books.
And I'm published 2 books and hopefully another 4 next year.
Yeah.
So, I thank you for acknowledging that. I'm very grateful for your support. And together we thrive.
Together we thrive.
Together we thrive.
If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could leave a 5-star review, a like, or subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Your support helps us reach more people looking to transform their stress into new comfort. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so don't forget to comment and share. For more tips and updates, please be sure to check out our social media links in the description box below. We can't wait to have you with us next time as we continue this journey towards turning stress into resilience. Remember, it's not the stress itself, but how we rise above it that defines our strength. So stay resilient and keep thriving, and we will see you next time.